Now here's your host, Rusty Rutherford. All right. Knock, knock. You guys, you have free minds, you're free people, you can say whatever you want to say. You don't have to say what society has programmed you to say. You can do anything. I mean, like if you want to say who's there, that's cool, you can say that, but think about what you really want. Not what you're expected to do, not what the man wants you to do. Think about what you want. And if you want to say who's there, that's cool, but do it because you want to deep down from your heart. If you don't want to say who's there, you can say whatever you want because this is Trevine, this is free speech comedy, this is Third Thursday free speech comedy. Say whatever you want. Knock, knock!
Fuck you!
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. So guys, thanks again for coming out. I want to say, you know, one thing we as Americans need to do, or we as people, is to start being more tolerant of others and of others' beliefs. Today, everyone's supposed to wear purple. I don't know if you know about that. For all the abuse. That was every day for me. My thong is permanently purple for that very reason. But we need to start being more tolerant of others as a human society, as human beings. You know, people honestly are getting beat up, are getting harassed mentally, physically, because they're homosexual. People are getting beat within inches of their life, sometimes worse, because some simple dumbass reason because they're homosexual. And that's no reason for people to get injured mentally, physically. But nonetheless, we need to be tolerant, and we need to start tolerating these people and not making them feel bad just because it's their belief that they should beat up homosexuals. Have you guys ever done that thing where you get a turkey and you hold it down to a sheet of paper and you trace it and it ends up looking just like your hand? That's weird. I'm really into self-help books and self-improvement. Almost to the point that it's become like an unhealthy addiction. I read self-help books on subjects I'm not even interested in. Like I just finished this one about the proper way to breastfeed your Jewish child. It's called the Dairy of Anne Frank. I had a dream the other night. Oh no, that was Martin Luther King Jr. My bad. Sometimes I accidentally put my shoes on the wrong feet, and then I say, "Why the fuck are you wearing my shoes?" Doing this for a public access audition. You don't really audition for public access. I hate it when I do this. Like, all my other jokes are bald jokes about being bald, but I wear a cap. So that cuts my entire set. So, like, all my jokes are about...
Take off the cap.
Alright, you don't I like my women like I like my coffee. Drunk. Hey, the war's over. Again, we're bringing home our troops.
Yeah!
Again. Did you guys see Obama address the nation when he released that statement? Did anybody see that televised? No one? No, that's cool. I actually didn't either. I'm not gonna lie. I did find out right after it happened via Facebook. Facebook's where I get all my news. I rely on Facebook. No, it's sad because some people actually do rely on Facebook for their news. But what's worse than that is relying on the news for your news. Worse. There's good things about society. I don't want to just talk trash about America. We have good things. I really like the trends that going around with all like the peaceful t-shirts. You know, everyone wearing t-shirts that say affection on them. That's cool. Affection shirts. I like my women like I like my coffee. Black with my penis inside. Black audience member. Don't you guys hate it when like you're in your bathroom and you see your contact on your floor? You realize you dropped your contact on the bathroom floor, and then you go to pick it up just to realize that it's not your contact. It's actually a drop of urine. And then you remember you don't even wear contacts. And now you just have piss in your eye. That sucks. For a while, I was having these like anxiety attacks before shows, and I was getting nauseous before shows, before dates, weird things. I've never been a nervous person, but I was having these anxiety attacks, and I'm really into like alternative medicine and natural healing. So I went to see this natural healer, and she helped me out a lot. She didn't give me any drugs. She just had me read this book to keep me from getting nauseous. It was called The Diary of Anne Frank. First one's better. I still tell the second one. And leave you with too high of expectations. Hey kids, you don't need alcohol to have fun. Drugs are cool too. I was hanging out with some friends, and they were talking about trying to get the dog high. And I don't know, I'm sure some of you guys have blown the weed smoke into the dog's face. They're like, inhale it, inhale it. But it doesn't work, because the dog doesn't know to inhale weed. You're not going to get the dog high that way. We decided the best way is to actually make a weed gravy. You mix the weed with gravy, and then you feed the gravy to a hamster. Because then it's like way more than the hamster weighs. You get the hamster high as hell. Then you feed the hamster to the dog. And then you eat the dog. We were tripping balls. A good way to tell if cocaine is real is to smell it really hard and then see how you feel after that. I was dating this Jewish girl for a while, and she was really cool. We were really hitting it off. We had great chemistry, but she would not have sex with me. She would not put out. And I kept waiting. I'm like, I really like you, but come on, we're gonna do this. Finally, she agreed to have sex with me, but she made me read this pamphlet on safe sex. It's called The Diaphragm of Anne Frank. I like my coffee like I like my women. Anne Frank? Maybe not. Maybe that one doesn't work too well. No, that last story wasn't really true. I've been dating a Jewish girl that made me read that. Sometimes as comedians say things that aren't true. We say them to be funny. And I feel bad. Every night I'm guilty about that. I feel really bad. I am a virgin by choice. It's not a religious thing, but I decided to practice virginity. How do you practice virginity? I'm good at this. I'm doing it right now. I'm going through it. No, I'm a virgin by choice, only because I hear once you have sex, ecstasy is never as good. One time, a guy asked me if the pleasures from doing drugs were worth all the risks involved, and then he melted into a neon rainbow butterfly fish and flew away.
It's true.
Mushrooms are weird. No, guys, I joke about drugs. Don't do drugs. I am a social worker, and I teach kids day in and day out not to do drugs. And seriously, you shouldn't do drugs. And here's the thing. If I could get one person right now to say, Rusty, as a comedian, I respect your opinions. You have a cool striped shirt. I'm going to stop doing drugs. I would feel like I've really made an impact tonight other than making you guys laugh. Is there anybody here that will say, I'm going to give up drugs, that has drugs on them, that is willing to just bring those drugs, set them right here, we will applaud you, we'll cheer you on. No, a big thing with drugs is that every year thousands of people are killed over drugs. The Mexican drug cartels and local drug dealers, especially these cartels going on right over the border. And my plan to convince, on a side note, to convince conservatives that we don't need to build a wall between here and Mexico is just convince them with all the money we'll save by not building a wall, we can invest that in hundreds of new prisons, and then both America and Mexico will be safer. Yeah. Fuck conservatives. I was losing you guys. We like Mexicans. No, that's make it come conservatives. No, but there are thousands of needless deaths over drugs, and I've come up with a problem to solve that. Who in here thinks marijuana should be legal? I agree. What about black tar heroin? Yeah, even more than marijuana. Crack cocaine. Yes. All of it. All of it should be legal, and this is why. If drugs were illegal, the Mexican drug cartels wouldn't have a job. They wouldn't have profit. They'd have to go back to getting normal minimum wage paying jobs as social workers like the rest of us. And they're going to take my job because they're already fluent in Spanish, and I barely got this job because I went to Spanish. But no, they don't get jobs. People aren't getting killed over illegal drugs. But there's still a problem with drugs. There's still going to be junkies that need their fix. Drugs are illegal, but they still got to get money for it. There's still going to be petty crime. There's going to be people getting robbed, people held up. Simple solution. Drugs are illegal. Make drugs free. Free drugs. All right, now drugs are legal, drugs are free. Junkies aren't going to be breaking in, stealing your car stereo with the iPod connection, selling it to me on Craigslist. No, so now that's not that problem. There's still a little problem. People do crazy shit on drugs. Drugs aren't totally safe. I thought, for just a second, I thought the girl that just walked in was topless, because it's similar to that skin. I was so disappointed just now. No, people, she's not. Looks like it for a second. I thought you were topless for a second. Where was it? Oh yeah, so if drugs are legal and drugs are free, you don't have the junkies robbing you, but people get sick on drugs. People do weird things if they do too much drugs. But that's the problem, if they do too much. If you just do a little bit, you're probably fine. So I've created a max-min system to keep people from doing crazy stuff. And in this system, the maximum actually comes before the minimum. So the way it works, say this is like a line right here, like a line graph. Okay, over here is 0 drugs, nothing in your system, you're fine, you're abstinent from drugs, nothing. Over here is like a shitload of all the drugs you can think of just all piled in, taken into the system. This is crazy town. Okay, if you just do like this amount of drugs, you're probably going to be fine. You're not going to be that bad. The danger zone is when you get into this section, all right? So the maximum you can do is to like right here. But if you pass that maximum, that's okay. You just have to get to this new minimum, and you have to get to it fast, because this is where you start hurting people, hurting yourself. If you get to this minimum, you pass that section, that's when you're too fucked up. You don't have motor skills. You're just walking around like fucking a piece of vitamin C because she winked at you, and then it's raining purple rain all over you. And it's weird because you just realize that you love the color purple, but you hate the movie The Color Purple, so you can't express your feelings about the color purple in a way people will understand. That's this amount of drugs, all right? So as long as you're here, you're fine. Over here is like the best time to have sex. Over here, you're pretty much deadish. Over here's the no zone. So instead of a drug-free America, I propose a free drug America.